Hi guys, I'm Aaron De Guzman and you're watching Small Talks, the show where we answer your questions and post tips and tricks on how to deal with them. So let's go. So let's check for today what's the question that everybody wants answered. Okay, so the topic for today is how to cope while working in the office. So by August 18, the government has declared Metro Manila under General Community Quarantine or GCQ. So what does that mean? A lot of stores and businesses will be resuming operations as well as public transportation. So that's good for the regular commuters. However, let's see the pros and cons of how to deal with the general community quarantine. Pro number one. Since the launch of the general community quarantine, a lot of businesses are allowed to open and operate, meaning a lot of employees are returning to their jobs, going on duties in order to generate revenues and their salaries. So all of those businesses that were suspended during the ECQ as well as the MECQ will now be allowed to operate. So pro number two, public transportation is readily available for the regular community. So when you're doing this, during the general community quarantine, some vehicles are allowed, some public transportation vehicles are allowed to operate. So when we're talking about LRTs, we're talking about public buses, we're talking about taxis and grabs, being able to operate. So the regular commuter has multiple ways to get to the office, which is good. So pro number three. Since the opening of businesses such as malls and restaurants are made available, so a lot of people can now travel for leisure. So practice safety guidelines while visiting these types of places to avoid the risk of contaminating or exposure to COVID-19. So con number one, COVID is still present in the Philippines. So even though we're in general community quarantine at the moment, please practice all the safety precaution because you run the risk of COVID, especially when you're outside of the premises of your own home. Number two, hello traffic, welcome back. So, a lot of commuters as well as public transport will now be occupying the streets of the city. So, traffic is relatively imminent. So please be patient when commuting. Avoid road rage at all costs. So con number three, the curfew. During the MECQ, the city has imposed a curfew for all residents that affects 8 to 5 every day. So it's 8 p.m. up to 5 a.m. The curfew is imposed to multiple cities. Now, given the reduction to general community quarantine, the lifting of the curfew or the adjustment of the curfew has not been made. So, even though we're in general community quarantine, the curfew still applies under 8 to 5 a.m. Okay, so now we've dealt with the pros and cons of the general community quarantine and how it affects the workforce. Now, I'm going to give you 10 tips on what to do while working in the office under the new normal. Okay, tip number one, use common sense. Now, when you're going out, make sure that you use all the necessary precautions needed so that you don't get infected. Remember, it's expensive to have COVID-19. Number two, maintain social distancing wherever you go. Even when you're in the office or you're going out to a public place, maintain social distancing at all costs. This is one way to combat COVID-19 and reduce the risk of exposure to said virus. Number three, maintain cleanliness inside the office. Now, every day you have to promote cleanliness. You have to make sure that every item in your office, everything that you touch or whatever the public touches must be disinfected every day. So make sure that you have alcohol swabs and tissue paper on hand so that you can disinfect while using. So this is a good courtesy to avoid transmitting COVID-19. Number 4, observe traffic rules. Make sure that you observe and follow the traffic rules existing prior to COVID-19 and the general community quarantine. Number 5, be patient. Now, this can be relegated other than for working. So, everyone is still adjusting to this period. So, you make sure that you have to be patient along with the co-workers you normally work with every day, the system in place, the policies of the company. Everyone is still adjusting, and it's your part to be patient while that transition takes place. Remember, this is still the staging period, and every complications that could occur during execution will arise. So please be patient with everything. Number 6, do not leave your work unattended. Make sure that when you're going to the office, although there are flexible times, make sure that before you leave, make sure that you complete every respectable duty that you have assigned for that day. Do not leave any work for tomorrow, or do not leave any pending items for tomorrow. Number 7, accept double duties and accept that you have to work double time. Now, the companies in the Philippines are struggling at the moment. So, as our employees, as part of the company, you have to show a little appreciation for the company since everyone is struggling and everyone is on the same boat. Now, this isn't the period to blame other people, wish that things could be better. This is the time that people should come together and help one another in these trying times. Number 8, remember to bring pack lunch. Now, this is a money saver tip. Um, Always bring packed lunch because aside from saving a lot of money, it saves you the risk of transmitting COVID or contracting COVID from other sources, because you never know where your food is being handled. So it's best that you prepare your own meals for the time being so that you can know what is inside your food. I'll also be doing a video on this on how to save more money, so check it out. Number 9. Since most stores are closed, I recommend opening your own mini store in the office. Now, make sure that you limit it to just coffee, small biscuits, instant noodles. Don't make the office kitchen or pantry into your own convenience store. Don't make it like your own personal canteen. And lastly, number 10, learn to save your money. Now that you're working, you may be tempted to spend your hard earnings on stuff that you want to buy or to see. I would suggest you save those money for a rainy day, especially if you have, let's say, free transportation from the company. You pack your own lunch. You can save a lot of money during this pandemic, especially if you've been given the chance to work. So I suggest you try and save it for a rainy day. I've done it during the MECQ and GCQ periods, and I've been able to save a lot of money from that. So in the end, make sure that this is an opportunity for you to be financially stable, or take this as an opportunity to increase your savings. So that's it, guys. How to cope while working in the office under the new normal. A special shout out to a few friends of mine, Marvin, Aika, and their son Asher. I hope you guys are staying safe out there. Special shout out to Nikki from Baking News, Edmar and Louie. Special shout out also to the KB group. They've been avid supporters. Please like and subscribe their pages. They have their own personal blogs out there. They have good content. I suggest you subscribe to them. And also, stay safe, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you like that. Make sure that you subscribe. There's and click on the notification bell icon. There's also a few videos out here. I also have a food blog called RonTV Eats. Make sure that you follow that as well if you want tips and tricks. And also, please comment on what type of episodes you need to do next. Bye!